the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go.
ThaBoxingvoice.com live with head trainer of Luis Ortiz and Carlos Negron. I want to know about Carlos, man. I want to know what type of shot he has versus Dominic Brazil. He's a bit of a sleeper. We haven't seen a Puerto Rican heavyweight since John Ruiz. And he's got an opportunity because I was telling him, he wins this fight, he jumps over Luis Ortiz for a shot at Wilder. So it's like, how serious is he taking it? How much does he want it?
I mean, he's living in one of the rooms in here. That's how serious. He's moved from Puerto Rico and set up shop here. So it's as serious as you can be. And it's not like set up shop at the Four Seasons, etc. He's here in one of these rooms. It's not a big room. You know, if you already didn't see him, it's modest at best. So he's serious. Left family behind, and that always means something. So his shot is what, 50-50, right? I mean, it's two big heavyweights that are going to punch each other. So Dominic's been on his ass before, recovered and won. But he's been on his ass before. Negron's been on his ass before. So there is that element to being a 50-50 fight. I'm sure Brazil's training hard. I'm sure that he's taken it as serious as he's probably taken any fight, because he hasn't fought in over a year, I believe. So he's probably motivated to take this fight and win this fight, you know, activity, right? But Negron is motivated in other ways, as you said earlier, that it'll catapult him. I don't think he thinks too much of that, as much as he's thinking about just an opportunity to shine, you know, an opportunity to fight and win. So we're definitely excited. We're both excited.
How does the boxing world not know about Carlos Negron? He's got over 130 fights. He's a heavyweight. He's Puerto Rican, which, you know, it's only Mexican, Puerto Ricans, big fan base in boxing, obviously American, but how is he asleep? Like, he's a sleeper right now. No one knows this guy.
Well, the interesting thing about Carlos is that he fought through the amateurs in many weight classes. He fought as low as, I think, 130 pounds.
What?
Being that height, yeah. So he came up through all the divisions, 30, 35, 47, 54, 60, 75. He's fought, you know, almost every division. So he didn't make a name for himself in one particular weight class. And it wasn't until, obviously, after the amateurs that he started campaigning at cruiser and heavy. But I think the main reason is that he had a real big managerial issue back home, you know, with whoever his past managers were, and they didn't do, you know, the job that they should have done. He signed with some Puerto Rican promoters also, and they didn't put him out, you know. So it's sometimes not what you can do, it's who you know. So
how long have you had him?
A year. A year. He helped us for the Wilder fight, so a little less than a year. What's March? We fought Wilder March 7th, so he was here early January, early February, so it'll be close to a year.
If you had your way, would December 22nd be Dominic Brazil for Carlos Negron, or would you give him someone else before?
No, I'd like to, me personally, and I believe that his management team personally currently would have liked a tune-up fight, of course. You know, it's your first fight together with the new company. You know, the perfect world would have been just that, you know, but it didn't happen. The opportunities in boxing don't come a lot. They're not going to knock on your door twice. So you have to take the opportunities when they're there and make the best of them, and I think that's what he's planning to do. Yeah.
Now for Negron, Brazil has made numerous mistakes in most of his fights. Amir Mansour, he was down on the cards. He got a good shot, made Mansour bite his tongue. He had to, you know, get out of that fight. Izunu, I mean, that was a tough fight for Brazil in Alabama. Do you see flaws that Negron can capitalize on?
Of course, there is a lot of flaws, as for there was with Wilder, but they prove that they can overcome them. So that makes them that much tougher of an opponent. They grow with each fight that way. If I'm Brazil's coach, I'm capitalizing on those instances that took place and giving them the confidence to grow from that. And I'm using that as a positive. And I'm sure they are. So, you know, it's a tough fight because of that reason, sincerely because of that reason. Had he not had any of those obstacles, it's possible Negron could have exposed them and finished them. But he's overcome them, so it's for that reason alone, that's why I believe it's going to be such a tough fight.
Is he a gallo?
Oh, no, he's a scrapper, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, he came and helped us with Lewis, and he was there every single round that he sparred with Lewis. He's helped numerous guys locally around here, Tyrone Spong. He's helped, and he's there every single round with the big Russians and some big Uzbekistan fighters that are here also locally, and he's there. So it's a fight. It's not a layover. If whoever wins is the better of the two, there's no excuse.
You know why I asked? Like, I was trying to figure out, does he have any dog in him? Because I'm watching you give him advice while training, and it seems like you have to motivate him to let his hands go a little more than what you would want.
Yeah. You know that he just traveled to California Monday for a press conference. It was a 24-hour West Coast trip, so I'm sure he's all screwed up, but I don't care. So I'm going to get on you.
That was Wednesday, right?
That was
for the PBC?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so today Thursday, right? So he just traveled. He got here last night late. He's all screwed up, I'm sure. But again, I don't care. My job is to push you. I'm going to use that as a learning tool. You're all messed up. You're dizzy. You're dazed. You're tired. You're lagged. Whatever. So what? Go. You know, because that may happen fight night. Different instance. It might come from a punch, right? So you have to know how to endure those things. And obviously, I'm an in-your-face kind of guy. I'm going to have you push till you puke. And that's my philosophy. And you do it here, the fight could get a little easier. So, you know, it all depends, you know, how I feel also. Sometimes I let them work at their own pace. And then sometimes I'm in their face. He could have thrown 1,000 punches. I wasn't going to be happy today with what he threw. My job today was to piss him off, to get in his head, to make him throw 2,000 punches, even though I was very happy with what he threw. But I'm not going to tell him that.
So how do you do it? How do you remain motivated? How do you get up every day to come to this hot-ass gym and work out with these guys? Like, you know, I could just imagine myself, if I was a trainer, and then I finally got my Luis Ortiz, I'm thinking my kids are good, I'm gonna buy that house, and all of a sudden he can't get the fucking fight. Like, you don't eat if he doesn't eat.
Without a doubt. Because I'm a stupid fuck. I didn't go to school. You know? That's where it stopped, you know? That's it. So I got no choice. I have zero choice. My children will have a choice, right? They're in school. They're going to get an education, and they're going to make better for themselves. I'm here, and this is what I do. But it just so happens that I love what I do. Mm-hmm. So that combination of passion and no choice is a dangerous individual. Sometimes you get a fighter with that. You don't have a choice, and they're passionate. That's Lewis. And he's just so lucky enough to have a coach who's just as crazy and just as passionate and just as felt against the wall. And I'm going to push till we bust out. Whether it's him, whether it's the next guy, you know? So I guess that's the answer, but sometimes it's tough.
Well, you've trained numerous guys. You've had world champion Juan Carlos Payano. Who do you think is going to be that guy to make Herman Caicedo the next Freddie Roach or Robert Garcia or Ronnie Shields, or be mentioned with those names once you're done and gone? Do you have a prospect here that we don't know about that might be that guy to take
There's a few prospects here. There's definitely a few Cuban prospects here that and a couple of American kids that are here just getting started. But there's still plenty of dog and plenty of fight left in Lewis. It's one punch away. And I'm not riding any other boat or getting on any other train until I'm done with that one. I'm going to ride that one to the ground. And he knows it. And it's not a secret. And his management team knows it. I'm going to ride him to the dirt. As long as he is going to come and push, I'm going to push him to the dirt. He can be 50. I don't care. His age doesn't bother me. And his age doesn't bother him. So again, you got that combination. We're going to push till we get it. And if we don't get it, boxing will or will not bless you. My mentor was Angelo Dundee. I was 9 years with him. And at the end of the day, 9 years with him. And at the end of the day, he told me it'll be 30, 40 years before you make any money in this business. Think about what you want to do. Go back to school. I was still a young man. I was 20 years old when I got with him. So it's something that you got to love to do. So I was very stubborn then.
Where was that?
I'm stubborn
Man,
now.
That's the story. I ain't turning this off now. Well, 9 years with Angelo Dundee. Where were you, I guess?
He was in Hollywood.
Hollywood.
When he was in Hollywood, after he left Fifth Street Gym. His last 12 years of professional boxing.
What are some of the champions that he had in the time you were there?
He had George Scott. Yeah, he was with Foreman. He was finishing up with Michael Nunn.
He was with foreman for the Michael Moore fight?
For the Michael Moore fight, right.
So you were in that corner?
No, I wasn't in that corner.
I was about to say.
But I was there. No, I was a do boy, but I was a do boy then. I wasn't even allowed to look at a fighter, let alone train a fighter.
Yeah.
But as it evolved, 9-10 years later, it ended with myself, Louis Lagerman, and Angelo. That was the coaching staff
so you
there.
got real pedigree,
So,
man.
no, absolutely. I know what I'm doing. I come from a great martial arts background, also a kickboxing background. It's been my whole life since I was 7 years old. So I don't have schooling traditionally, but my whole life has been one way or another. A punch, a kick, an elbow, a headbutt, a body slam, whatever it's been. So it don't make a difference to me. This is what I love to do. So, but Angelo did say to me, he said, you're going to be 30 years. You're going to be 50 years old before you start making money. I'm getting close. I'm 40, going to be 49. So I'm getting close. So I can't give up now. He said it was going to be 30,
no, it's around the corner now.
Around the corner.
So any young, hungry Caicedo men out there in terms of like your sons? Anybody taking up the sport behind you? You have any children?
No. I disown them. You kidding me? No. My kids.
Why is it that nobody who does boxing wants their family to do boxing?
This is a beautiful art. It really is a beautiful art. It's a shitty ass business. And there's a lot of doors that I've closed on my own because I tell it like it is. And I'm going to send them to go to hell. And I've told many promoters and managers and even fighters they can go fuck themselves because I don't need this. You know what I'm saying? I don't need this. I can survive without it, right?
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, I'm a survivor. So I don't need this. If I ain't doing this, I'm going to do something else. But that's closed some doors, right? So it can get tough, right? In this good old boy club that we're in, it can get tough if doors start closing for you. But my children, they're not going to do that. And I got 2 boys, and they don't do it. They're going to learn how to defend themselves. Their daddy's a black belt boxing coach. The daddy's going to show them right. My daughter's the meanest. She's 30 years old. She'll kick anybody's ass. But they're going to go to school, and they're going to finish school. And
even if they want to box?
Then I can't control that. Then I'm going to do what I can.
So Deontay Wilder told me when his brother said, "Look, I want to box," he got in the ring with his brother and hit him like he was a stranger. How would you deter your children? Would you put them in there with one of your... That's the only way?
I've already done that with my son. I did it with my daughter, and my son, he don't want to do it. He wants to stay in school, and he wants to keep doing what he's doing, and he loves music, and he's very artistic in that route. And my daughter, chose a career in broadcasting, and this is something that picks you. You can't pick it. It picks you. I only did this, and I went out to other gyms, boxing gyms in particular, and ended up in Angelo's gym by complete accident. I was a martial artist, and I had a martial arts school, and I was a kickboxer. And I wanted to learn how to be better with my hands to train my kickboxers. Had no intention to box or to even train a fighter, a professional boxer. And I ended up by accident in that gym, and like I said, after a minute, that competition of that person with another person and me being a big part of that person winning bit me and never let go. And I can't shake it. So
now you spoke about this business not really giving back what a person puts in, and that's why a reason why you would recommend your children not to fight. But in your times with Angelo till now, there has been a drastic change, at least for myself looking on the outside. Can you give me any of the differences you see? And do you see, I guess, that clear horizon for boxing now? Because I'm thinking back then it was on network TV, but it wasn't as many promoters, as many networks, as many people interested in the sport. Now we got streaming applications, all type of things. Seems like boxing's on the rise now opposed to back in the day.
I think the main difference, and I've talked to this with a few different promoters, trainers, Angelo himself mentioned this, but the one person I trained that brought my attention to this was Shannon Briggs. I trained Shannon for almost 10 years. And it was what he said, and it's that they don't promote fighters anymore. The networks used to promote a fighter. Used to do a Saturday special, like the 24/7 was upcoming all the way on network TV, and promote the fighter, make the fighter a star. I can say that Don King was maybe the one that did it and then ended it. Because obviously, when you promote the fighter and you make the fighter a megastar, you got to pay the fighter now. So there's going to be fighters that break out and become the megastars regardless, and you're going to have to pay them. But if you can keep them all underneath and keep them all still begging for a little bit of chump change as a promoter / network, right? You can stay on top of the game. So I think that's the main difference. Is back then they were interested in promoting the fighters and really making stories out of everybody and making, somebody bigger than life, making them a public name on the Wheaties box. They don't do that anymore, and it's a shame, but it's business, it's money, because you can't make them all megastars because then you got to pay them all. So I think that's the main difference, and that fighters themselves, I think, are to blame for sometimes for some of the things that are happening, is because if we all kind of stuck together and said no when someone's offering you a $5 fight, and they go down the line and they're going to find a fighter for $5 that's going to take the fight, right?
You need a union. For everyone says no,
never,
they all say no.
Right, but that'll never happen. So I think it's to blame, maybe poverty. It's a poor sport, so it's hard to say that they're to blame, but it is the fault of someone always saying yes to a $2 fight. If somebody would have a standard, the NFL doesn't do that, You could be a rookie sitting, you got to make X amount, point blank. Boxing doesn't do that, so it's still a beautiful art. It's a shitty ass business.
You got time? I got more.
I'm not doing nothing, go ahead.
All right. As a trainer, what do you think about Mikey Garcia going up 2 divisions to face?
I love Mikey.
He's facing the King Kong of the welterweight division.
Yeah, Mikey is the King Kong of the welterweight division. I love Mikey. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah,
you
for
think
sure.
he's going to beat Earl Spence Jr.?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
How?
I might be wrong.
No. But tell me how, because
I think he can do it with his legs and his smarts.
I've been doing this for
punch.
almost 9 years, and I just started betting this year about a month ago because I'm like, I'm doing this too long. Let me make some extra money. So help me pick Mikey.
No, I don't pick who I pick. Well, don't pick who I pick. But I think Mikey's got better legs, and he can pinpoint his punches, and he can't
Pinpoint,
crap.
you mean more accurate?
Yeah, he's gonna hit you. You can put your guard up, but he's gonna find the hole.
But did you see the face-off? He looks small.
We'll see. But why I like Mikey is because he's doing it. Why not?
Again, as a trainer, does height even matter?
Nah. No, at all. Mike Tyson proved that. You put it right on the button. Don't gotta be hard. Doesn't have to be hard. Just gotta be on the button. And if you don't see it, even better.
So this question, right? I guess it's for both. That situation with Earl and Mikey.
They want to do a radio spot with Lewis. Can you help him? She wants to do a shout out real quick.
But also with Lewis, right? Because it's like Earl Spence has been saying the same thing. Nobody wants to fight me. Nobody wants to fight me. But now he's got a pay-per-view.
Right.
People will fight you on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like Thurman would love to fight him on. Sean would love, and it's the same thing for Lewis. Does Lewis have to transition to pay-per-view because the risk isn't worth the reward?
It's 1,000% the risk not worth the reward. I understand why they don't want to fight him, but then don't talk shit. Don't say he's this, don't say he's that, don't say I'll beat him, don't say I'll do this, and I'll do that. Just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Only credit I give Josh is that he ain't talking Luis Ortiz. Other than that, he's a pussy. Right? Other than that, he's a pussy. But I give him credit for not talking Luis Ortiz. All the rest are talking Luis Ortiz, but they don't want to fight. And they won't fight when the contract's being offered. So just don't say Luis Ortiz.
I gotta ask, why you think Joshua's a pussy?
Because he ain't fighting him.
But
he was his mandatory to fight. And Eddie Hearn promised to fight and signed us to fight and did all that shit and then just...
But wasn't there a discrepancy with like the WBA and a test result, and that was the reason that hindered everything with Joshua?
His blood pressure medication?
Well, not the Wilder situation. Wasn't there an issue before?
No. He was the mandatory.
And
he was
then
the interim mandatory champion.
And then what happened?
He wasn't. So as the WBA.
So they just stripped him.
As the WBA, yeah, I don't know. He was and then he wasn't. Yeah,
so no lawsuit, because I mean Fresno Cuendo sued the WBA and he's...
who wants to do that? He's 37 years old at the time. Then he's going to be 38. They have you by the balls because they know you don't got time. If you're 20 years old, his management team would have thrown $2 million at it, right? Because they're no nonsense unit. No nonsense. But you're dealing with a 35, 36, 37-year-old. What kind of time do you have? We got to go. We got to go. Fuck you, you're a pussy. And we got to move on.
Now,
and that's what the truth is. That's the truth. You can say whatever you want to say, and the comments can say whatever they want to say. You're getting it from the horse's mouth that was there. You a pussy. You ducked us and dodged us, and you use his age as a reason to hold fire, right? To just hold that off. They're gonna run another way, and we had to go the Wilder way because he was the only one that was saying, "Let's go." I got you.
But you blame Joshua and not Eddie Hearn?
Come on, dude. Come on, man. Lewis says I want to fight him. His manager can't stand in the way. You can't stop him. I can't stop him.
That's true. An example is Lewis said he wanted to fight Dylan White. His manager said no, but he was still trying to fight Dylan White.
You can't stop a fighter from doing what they want to do. I want to fight him. Point blank.
So in your opinion and with your experience, Anthony Joshua is ultimately the boss. If he wanted to fight Wilder, Lewis, anyone,
of course,
it's up to him.
It's up to him to take and say, I want to fight. His management team and promotion team is going to talk him out of the fight. They're going to do their job, and they should. And that's what should happen, because Lewis will knock him out in 2 rounds.
2 rounds?
2 rounds, maybe 1.
Why less than Wilder?
Because he ain't shit.
But
He ain't shit.
He looks technically better.
He fought Klitschko. And what is that? What is that? Klitschko didn't throw a punch. Fury beat him because Klitschko
But they
didn't
called that
throw
the
a punch.
best fight of the last 20 years in the heavyweight division.
Because they hit each other in the 11th round when both were a little bit injured and swinging for the fence. He fought a guy who was not in his best. He fought a guy who really was gunshot his whole career. Ever since he got knocked out by Corey Sanders and his big brother saved him, right? He wasn't shit. He's a hell of a dude, but he wasn't like nothing.
Yeah, but he turned to the round. He turned to the round.
Klitschko ducked us too.
He still turned it around. 12
Turned who
years.
around?
He turned his career around. It's put the perception of him 12 years.
Because he handpicked, he did the Joshua route. He picked everyone he wanted to fight. Klitschko picked everybody he wanted to fight until HBO threw him out. You forgot HBO threw him
I remember that.
They said, we're not fighting these bums no more. Get out of here.
I remember
Go
that. I
fight in
just
the
don't
UK.
remember him picking anybody he wanted.
He handpicked all his mandatories.
Yeah, it wasn't too many guys. I agree with Jay. It was an era that wasn't as thick as right now. But he fought David Haye. He fought Manuel Char. He fought
Those are
Samuel
handpicked guys, dude. There was some mean sons of bitches there.
But those are the
that were
same names that
mandatory.
these-
Ike Abiabuchi, David Tua. There was some mean dudes, man, in that heyday.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for that? Abiabuchi, till he went to jail, was the #1, and everyone was ducking him.
Yeah, but no one fought him. No one
but
fought
what does that
him.
mean? So what?
I
So
mean,
what?
he had issues though. It wasn't like he was a
killing
perfect
He was knocking
career.
people out. That's what his issue
Wasn't he in and out of jail though?
No, he was in jail 1 time. That's it. He got it right the first time.
Wow. So Jay,
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.